Hello everybody, Chris here with CD2 Wrestling, and we are doing our Raw review for the 15th of January episode of Raw. Let's get started. So the show starts off with Braun Strowman coming to the ring, telling the crowd about a little story he likes to tell, with a happy ending about him going into the Royal Rumble and winning the Universal title. While he's doing the story, Kurt Angle comes and is like, I have a story, it's not going to be a happy ending. He fires Strowman, everybody gets upset. The security guards start walking Strowman out, and he gets to the door and is like, you can't let me, I'm not going to leave, and starts just throwing them around, making all kinds of, it was crazy. Just throwing them around and started just destroying everything in his path in the backstage area. It was awesome. That was in between like the first segment, commercial break, and then we come back. When we go back to the ring, we have our first match of the night is a tag team match with the rematch from last week with the Bar and Titus Worldwide. The Bar's upset that they lost, whatever, so they want to make sure it wasn't a fluke. So they they do the rematch with Titus Worldwide, and which the Bar lose due to Jason Jordan distracting them again. I don't remember if that happened last week, but it's quite typical for Jason Jordan to get involved in other people's matches. As of late, that seems to be like his thing right now. So it seems very, very silly. It was okay, it was an okay match. It wasn't, a super like. I don't really like the Titus Worldwide gimmick, so it's just kind of annoying. And then Jim just kind of doing this like beat the Bar thing. It just doesn't make sense to me. But it's whatever. After the match, we go backstage again, and Strowman, find Strowman just pissed off even more, looking for. He's like, where looks for Kurt Angle's office, finds the office, just destroys the office, just. Literally everything in there is just destroyed. And so it was just that was probably quite entertaining for throughout pretty much the whole show. We come back from commercial and we head into the catering area where some backstage guys like, everybody look out, Strowman's coming, and everybody's like, okay, whatever. And he comes up and grabs Kurt Hawkins and just throws him over the table and has a funny moment of like there's a guy just holding like a chocolate cake there, and Strowman like grabs a piece of cake, and that it was funny. I liked it. I thought it was funny. So oh well. After that segment, we go back to the ring for the cruiserweight action between Tony Nese and Cedric Alexander. Tony Nese obviously has Enzo in the ring or on his side, and then Alexander has Goldust, and that one was funny just because Alexander did Enzo's soft, got one word for you to describe. So I thought that was funny. I was at the show, and so quite enjoyed it. Enzo's entertaining, and so it's kind of funny to have him flipped, and then have it was a good match. Alexander ended up winning. It was a good match. It was entertaining. Goldust and Enzo were just as entertaining as the other guys. And it was nice, it wasn't overdone. It wasn't too ridiculous. It was nice, pretty much. It was good. We go backstage after that match with Kurt Angle in his office looking at just all the wreckage, where a ref comes in and is like, Strowman's headed to the TV truck, the production trucks, and Kurt Angle's like, no, that's like $12 million, and that's like the running thing for them today was like, how much money is Strowman costing the company destroying stuff. And that cuts to commercial. We come back, Strowman gets in one of the I think two of the production trailers, and it starts yelling at everybody, telling them to get out. And it's like if I break this, we go get off the air and stuff. It was pretty funny, I thought. And then he gets out of the trailer, unhooks the truck on the the actual truck for the tractor trailer, and that's when Angle, everybody runs up and like, what are you doing? He's like, you fired me, get out of my way, I don't care. And flips the truck over, picks it up, and he did the ambulance and all the other crazy things he's done. He just it was, I rewatched Raw on TV. At the show, it was cool, but we were expecting him to like do like come like through the crowd and do stuff, but he didn't. And so seeing it on TV was better than seeing it like in person doing that. Um, and then as he runs off, Kurt Angle gets a phone call, which ends up being from Stephanie McMahon, telling Angle she rehired Strowman and to get him under control, which he's before. Right, so that happens. He goes to the ramp, like heads to the commentary table, where like Corey Graves gets out of the way. Booker T like pushes Michael Cole over, and Cole falls down. So Strowman grabs Cole, and like Angle's like, "You're not fired. You're rehired. Don't hurt Cole. Don't hurt Michael." Because too he was like, because Angle, since he fired him, it was going to be it's a single Brock Lesnar versus Kane, which would have been a terrible match, I feel like. But he's like, you're rehired. There's still a triple threat, and we just and so he picks up Cole, and he picks up Cole anyway, throws him to the security guards, and that's all we see from Michael Cole. We quite enjoy that in the arena. When you come back from commercial, Tom Phillips comes in to finish the show for Michael Cole. So you have Cole, Booker T, and no, you don't have Cole. You have Tom Phillips. I'm sorry, Booker T and Corey Graves as the commentary team for the rest of the night. We have the only match that was announced before the show. And sometimes they do it a bunch of different ones. This time they didn't. It was Nia Jax versus Asuka, which Asuka wins because Nia Jax is unable to compete due to a spot they did where like Nia Jax is walking up the steel ramp, the steel steps, and like Asuka kicks her calf and she like falls, and like on like in between the ring post and the ring post and the steps. We thought it looked kind of cool. It was just like, okay, we knew it was a spot, but it was a good match. I enjoyed it. I didn't like the commentary on that one just because it seems like they're kind of rehashing the what was it, the irresistible force versus the immovable object type of thing that they did from WrestleMania 3, if anybody remembers that. So it just seems kind of silly that they're doing that, but hopefully that kind of ends with today. We'll find out later. And then like as Asuka can't get up, like Alexa Bliss comes and makes sure she's okay, and it was whatever. It seems like whether that happens at the Royal Rumble, we're gonna have a continued feud between Nia Jax and Asuka. We go back to Kurt Angle's office with Angle in the office again, just looking at all the wreckage, and it pans up to have Jason Jordan, and we're like, all right, let's see what's gonna happen now. And Jason Jordan's like, I want to make a match for my partner Rollins against Balor, and yada yada yada, and Kurt Angle's like, okay, we'll do it, and it ends up being the main event for that. So after that, we have a video package for the late Dr. King, because yesterday was Martin Luther King Day, so it was a very nice tribute to that. When we come back from commercial, we have we're in the training room with Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax. Enzo comes in, he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna make sure you're okay," blah blah blah. And Alexa Bliss is like, "I don't want to be here if you're here." And Nia Jax is like, "He's okay here." So Alexa Bliss leaves, and that's all we got. When we come back to the ring, it's the Revival versus a local talent or jobber. It was just jobbers. It was, the Revival wins, of course. It was a quick match, and I guess the biggest thing was them, they cut a promo about they're not sports entertainers, they're professional wrestlers, and that all these super legends that are coming to Raw 25 next week are the reason why it sucks so bad, and blah 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 blah, and that they're like a more like an old school team, which I know over the internet people have said that they looked like Arn Anderson and I believe Tully Blanchard, two of the Four Horsemen. So, so I guess that's what they're. I would imagine those two being there. Just I don't know. We'll see what happens. with all the tag teams that they have, it's going to be kind of interesting to see. Hopefully, I don't know, hopefully they don't bury them like they did a couple years ago when the Ascension came on to the main roster, and like the APA, New Age Outlaws, and NWO just kind of knocked them out, whatever. But we'll have to wait and see. So Elias comes back from commercial, do his intro for the Miz Taraj and the Miz. He does his thing about telling how bad the local teams or whatever sucks. And I'm not saying this because I was there, but I'm pretty sure it's the loudest boo he's gotten since being on the main roster. Maybe since Chicago. Maybe I think it might have been a little bit louder in Chicago, surprisingly. But it was entertaining nonetheless. The Miz comes in, cuts a promo, his Hollywood, blah 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 blah. And then we have our 2-on-1 handicap match with the Miz versus Roman Reigns, which I enjoyed the Miz distracting Reigns from the start. They left the title on the apron instead of taking it away like they normally do right away. So Miz is messing with Reigns or whatever and trying to be the dirty heel in the match and get the distractions and stuff. And it's already a handicap match, so I don't see how much more dirty you have to be from it. But Reigns obviously gets the win. Superman punch on Dallas, spear to Curtis Axel, and almost hits the Miz with stuff. I think it was supposed to be a spear, but the Miz of course runs away. So that's what we got, because they're having a match, an IC title match next week at Raw 25. So we'll hopefully we'll see what happens with that match. Next, we have a women's division match with Sasha Banks with Bayley, Mickie James on her side versus Sonya Deville with Absolution on her side. Deville wins. It was a quick match. It was a good match. I was very surprised on the finish, just because it was a clean finish. It wasn't a whole lot of any involvement with the other women in there. I don't and two, it's Deville, I don't know, the last couple of weeks she just seems to look better. I don't know, her hair, I know it's a whatever thing, but she just looking better in terms of her gimmick. We go backstage between the tag team champions, when Rollins you gotta quit doing stuff like that. You still sense some of the hostility between Rollins and Jordan. And so we'll see what happens at the Royal Rumble. We'll do the predictions later, but I don't expect them to retain the titles in the Royal Rumble. And then probably what I was waiting for the most of tonight, we have Woken Matt Hardy, which last week they unveiled new music, but this week they have the new video package, Dermotron stuff for him. It was a match, Hardy versus Heath Slater. Rhino's still trying to get Heath Slater to be stronger or tougher or whatever, and it was a good match. I enjoyed it. It was a good match. The crowd enjoyed the woken, broken, whatever you want to call it, gimmick of the Hardy, Matt Hardy. And the most thing I was disappointed in that match is you had nothing with Bray Wyatt. It was just the match and done. There was no, not like last week where you have, the stare down, or before we had the promo being cut. There was no Bray Wyatt at all in the show. Not even nothing. No Bray Wyatt at all. It just seemed kind of silly, I think. After that, we have a video segment talking about Goldberg being inducted into the 2018 Hall of Fame class. As it is January before the Road to WrestleMania, they start unveiling, their Hall of Fame guys, and so. Goldberg is going to, I'm assuming it sounds like Goldberg is going to be the main focus. Each year they do have one focus on one person. Like last year was Kurt Angle and stuff, so that it looks like Goldberg's going to be the one focus of them this year. So after that, we have our main event, which is Finn Balor with the Club versus Seth Rollins and Jason Jordan on his side. It was just a singles match, but I like both Seth Rollins and Finn Balor, so I didn't really care who won. Rollins gets the win, through the bar coming in and I guess trying to distract Rollins, but they end up fighting with the bar. Balor does a suicide dive into them. It was nice because he had Rollins and Balor were just doing signatures off of, like Sling Blade, because sometimes they have the same move, so they're going back and forth. So it was kind of nice to see that. But Rollins gets the win off the bar, distract. Balor gets back on the ring. Jason Jordan trips him essentially, and probably besides Welcome to Hardy, the most exciting thing of the night, the fact that Seth Rollins brought the curb stomp back, which anybody watches WWE for the last 3 years, curb stomp's been banned, whatever. And so after he did his feud with Triple H, he did the pedigree. He had after the curb stomp got banned, it was the pedigree, and he's been doing this running knee thing, which is it's an okay thing, but the curb stomp is just so much better for him. And that finish, bringing that back, it was crazy. It was probably the biggest surprise of the night, minus Braun. I mean, there were obviously other surprises, but that was a nice way to finish the show, which. They get the tag, the bar run off, Jason Jordan has Rollins run off, and you end the show with the club in the ring staring down with Rollins and Jason Jordan. So, besides, I'm not being biased. It's always much more fun to go to the show than watch it. It was an alright show without a lot of star talent. You don't have a whole lot of part timers. Kane wasn't there, Brock Lesnar wasn't there, Alexa Bliss didn't have a match. She was just, excuse me, in there really quick with Nia Jax. You didn't really have a whole lot of star talent, and it ended up being, relatively good. The nice thing was getting to see the curb stomp. That was nice. Hopefully they can continue that. Hopefully it was a one-off thing. Obviously, I don't think they were doing a whole lot today, just because next week you have Raw 25, so they were just kind of keep it kind of small and I guess compact. But it was overall, I feel like it was overall a good show. You had surprises. It wasn't as boring as it's been. Obviously it could still be better, but not bad for what we got. So we'll have to tune in next week, see what happens. So if you guys enjoyed the video and enjoyed the podcast, do me a favor, guys. If you're on YouTube, follow the channel. Subscribe to the channel, hit the like button on the video, follow me on Twitter on @DZroth for either whether or not it's YouTube or SoundCloud. If you're on SoundCloud, go ahead and like the track, follow me on there, and we'll catch you guys next time.